Is this LEGO Star Wars set worth £500? Let's dive into a full in-depth review and find out. Hey guys, it is Henry and Mr. Grey here, bringing you an update on the 2016 retired UCS LEGO Star Wars Assault on Hoth, set number 75098. The set came with a retail price of £220 back in the day and a piece count of 2,144. So let's get into it. Diving into the front of the box here, we do have the classic LEGO Star Wars logo up top. And for some reason, this set is classed as a UCS set, though we'll get into that in more detail later on in the video. The Echo Hoth base itself is displayed very nicely on the box, with all of the play functions included there. We do have the generator, the snowspeeder, and the classic ion cannon, though a big disappointment for the set has to be the name of the set, the Assault on Hoth, as, well, this is the only assaulted part of the build itself, so a bit of a stretch there in my opinion. The box art here is fantastic, and I do prefer the original over the newer styled black versions. And a point to note here, this set was advertised as a UCS set back in the day, though in my opinion it is more a play scale version, as we do get the ages 12 plus, where UCS sets tend to start at 14 plus. And now we're also getting the classic 18 styled plus box art and AFOL sets. Turning to the back of the box now, we do get all the play functions on display here. We do have the opening and closing of the Echo Hoth base doors, along with some of the really cool in-depth play features available for the set. We also get a view of the back of the Echo Hoth base with all of its details as well. Starting off, we do have the Wampa Cave down here, along with some control panels, the Tauntaun pen, the classic generators up here, speeder bikes, the snow trenches, ion cannon, and the classic snow speeder as well. Up top here, we do get 15 fantastic minifigures, letting you play out any Battle of Hoth scene you desire. And we'll get into those shortly. Starting the minifigure lineup, we do get the Rebel Troopers. The one on the left does have his classic dark tan torso piece, while the one on the right has the slightly newer printed white torso piece. They both come with their blasters, along with their two molded head helmet pieces, whatever you would like to call them, along with those clip-on goggle pieces, which I do particularly like. We do get some very nice printing on both of them, and some nice leg printing as well to complement the minifigures. Turning the figures around, you will find back printing on both figures, and I do particularly like the darker sand coloured torso in my opinion, though on the white one we do get his classic white backpack that is covering up the back printing. Up next we get the classic Snow Trooper. He does come complete with torso printing and no leg printing unfortunately, though we do get his very cool cloth waist cape. He does come with his newer styled Snow Trooper helmet and iconic blaster. Turning the figure around now, the Snow Trooper does come with back printing, though it is covered by his backpack, which is pretty cool because in this case it is brick built, unlike the classic molded piece, and we do get this very cool 1x1 printed tile. Up next is the Rebel Officer. He does come with some very nice torso printing, though no leg and arm printing, which is a bit of a disappointment. He does come with a very cool face printing, and I do particularly like the moustache, and his classic mini blaster figure. He does also come with his white helmet there. A little bit of back printing here for the Rebel Officer, though not much, just enough to complete his torso print, and it does follow on to the rear here as well. Up next we do have Torin Farr. She does come in her dark sand torso print there, which is the Rebel uniform and does match a lot of other minifigures within the set here. She does come with some nice torso printing and leg printing, though nonetheless a nice figure to have. Next up is our classic Luke Skywalker minifigure. He does have some awesome chest printing, along with his classic new lightsaber. His face printing is all scratched up, which is courtesy of the Wombat, so I do like that attention to detail there. And he also comes with his helmet and goggle piece there. It is a bit of a shame that we do get grey legs, though nonetheless a classic and iconic minifigure. Up next is our K3PO minifigure. This is an identical version to the gold C3PO, though just recoloured in white, and I particularly like his chest and leg printing there. A fantastic minifigure to have, and it is always nice to get an exclusive minifigure to a big UCS set such as this. Moving on, we do have Han Solo in his winter jacket for the Hoth base or Hoth scene in the Star Wars franchise. We do get some very nice chest printing along with leg printing, though they did not continue the leg printing onto the side of the minifigure there. On the reverse side of Han Solo here, we do get his classic jacket printing that does continue onto the back of the minifigure, and if you look closely to the head, you can see his classic hood printed there as well, which is a very nice touch. Up next, we do get our Rebel pilots for the Snowspeeder. Starting on the left, we do have Wes Jason. On the right, we do have Wedge and Tilly's. It is very nice to get some named characters here, and they come in their classic orange pilot uniform. The minifigures, though, are identical besides the face print and the classic red and green hats or helmet pieces there. They also come with their iconic small blaster molds there as well. To complete the minifigure, we do get some very nice printing that does turn all the way around to the torsos and the back of the minifigures to complete their classic orange fighter pilot look. Finally, completing the awesome lineup of minifigures, we have our astromech droid R3A2. He is coming in with an identical print to the classic R2D2 minifigure, though he is reprinted in the orange form, as you can see there, along with his classic clear head for the astromech droid. This is definitely a cool minifigure and much appreciated to get another astromech minifigure in the Star Wars lineup. Finally, moving on to the big figs of the set, we do get the classic Tauntaun mold. This is unfortunately the original Tauntaun figure from the 2009 series of Star Wars sets, though nonetheless a very nice figure to get indeed. He does come complete with his classic saddle, his mouthpiece, and his iconic sand creamish ear pieces. And finally, we get the last minifigure of the set, which is the classic Wampa minifigure. This is the same Wampa minifigure from the 2009 Wampa Cave, though nonetheless a classic and iconic minifigure nonetheless. He does come complete with his grey horns, his two arms, and the classic chicken leg piece there as well. Moving on to the first section of the build here, we do get the two classic snowtroopers, followed by their artillery gun and classic snow speeder. Unfortunately, this is LEGO's representation of the assaulting part of the assault on Hoth, and these two snowtroopers have to single-handedly defend themselves against the entire Echo Hoth base there. It would have been nice to get a few more minifigures, or definitely some more assaulting, should we say, vehicles as such. Though, nonetheless, it is very nice to get these into indeed. We do have this cannon here that does have a stud trooper on the top here, followed by this little crate with extra ammunition inside. Moving on to the snow speeder here, or the classic snow speeder design here. Not much has changed on this build, though we do get these lovely grey triangle pieces, along with this curved tile here, though unfortunately these two pieces are printed. Here we are moving on to the trenches outside of the Echo Hoth base and the first defense against the assault itself. We do get the 5 snow troopers here as well. They do man these 3 guns here. We do get this very nice turret here that can swivel, along with this turn or knob, should we say, on the back that does allow you to fire the studs on the side there, which is a very nice feature indeed. And finally, we move on to the side turrets here, where you can actually open up the interior like so. We can just about fit a minifigure line down here, but the best play function has to be the use of these classic spring-loaded shooters there. Turning the trenches around now, we can see that designers did do a very good job here of adding a lot of detail here. I particularly like these studs that they have added here that do allow you to actually place the minifigures to look like they are firing the guns. We do have the swiveling here, and the designers did add this in mind, where you do have the 3 studs here and they can be placed in different positions on the snow trench there. Another side build here for the Lego set, and we are moving on to bags 4, which give us the generator build from the Echo Hoth base. Like the movie, this build is fantastic. It is very accurate in my opinion, though the biggest disappointment has to be the missing generator here, as in the movie we are shown 4, though the designers did only give us 3. It is a pretty easy modification, though anybody could probably add a 4th one on the side here, just with a few extra pieces. And the best part has to be the play function here. By pushing down on this lever on the back here, it does allow us to blow up the generators, like so. On the underside of the generators, we do also have the power cells, so some very nice attention to detail that the designers did include there. And it can be easily reset just by placing the generator panels back on, like so. Up next, we do have our classic snow speeder build. Unfortunately, this printing on the front here does include a sticker, though nonetheless does look very nice and completes the overall white and orange color tone of the speeder. We do get some nice printed cockpit pieces here, though on the side it is another 2 stickers, one on each side there. The biggest improvement has to be the interior space. The designers have maximized it there to add enough seating for 2 pilots so they can sit front and back like so. We do get a lovely winch here on the back here, which is always nice to get, especially wrapping around the 8080 walkers. We do get a stud shooter there as well. Turning the snow speeder upside down, on the underside we are greeted by the spring-loaded shooters there, which can fire like so. In my opinion, they did do a very good job on this build, though the underside isn't so clean considering they did use the yellow pieces. It would have been good to see the white, and I believe these spring-loaded shooters do stick out a bit and are a bit bulky, though can be removed fairly easily for a more sleeker or clean design. Let me know your thoughts on the Snow Speeder build. There isn't much to say about this, though it is an improvement from the previous Snow Speeder we have had. It is quite a tricky fit there and a bit of a squeeze, though nonetheless we can fit the 2 pilot minifigures in the Snow Speeder build here. Unfortunately though, with the 2 helmets on, they cannot close the cockpit piece entirely, though if you do remove these you can get a sleeker finish or closed cockpit section there. Moving on to the front of the Echo Hoth base now. The designers did do a very good job adding a lot of depth and detail within the base. And I do particularly like the rocky mountainous texture we do get on here. And it is replicated on the other side over here now. If you do look very closely, we do get a control panel here. This does allow you to open and close the doors if you're in your imagination. And we do get some clips here on both sides that do allow you to add external builds that will be added later in the video. Moving on to this side build here, we get a smaller representation of what is the Wampa cave, with Wampa included here. Unfortunately, I feel like LEGO has just added this on to fill out the space and bump up the piece count in my opinion. It is quite a nice addition, though there is no depth or detail really into this build and was quite mediocre in my opinion. Nonetheless, a great addition, and we also get the included Wampa minifigure, otherwise I don't think LEGO would have added that in my opinion. Turning the build over now, we get our first look into the inside of the Echo Hoth base. Taking a closer look now, we do get our interior detail here. There is not much on offer, though nonetheless we do have some nice clips here that do give you some spare spring-loaded shooters. We get our classic radar finding technology system here, along with some control panels in the back. Moving on to the right side of the Echo Hoth base, we do get this nice crane which is on a track that can slide back and forth. It does come complete with this cart here where you can pick up and unload the cargo as well, which is very nice. It does come on some wheels, so it does roll as well. And finally, we do get these Tauntaun pen over there. Do come complete with some nice foliage for the Tauntaun to eat there as well. It feels like these builds, which in the instructions you build in 1, 2, and 3 sections here, it does feel like they have just added this on just to fill up the detail, so not much thought or effort has really gone into them. And I feel like they've added these just to bump up the price, though they have left quite a lot of space down here, which I guess you could use your imagination to fill out the scene in any way you desire. The best part of the Echo Hoth cave, or base should I say, has to be the mechanism to open and close the doors simultaneously. As you can see, we do have a Technic-Axle that does run along the base here. This is replicated on both sides, along with some treads up top here, which you can just about see, and this big white gear here. By turning the gear back and forth, we do get the function of opening and closing the doors simultaneously like so, which in my opinion is a very cool feature. Finally, the feature from the front side of the base, you can see that it does open and close. It is a bit tedious and does take a few seconds to do, though nonetheless it is a very cool play function indeed. The last point or play function to add on the Echo Hoth base is the raising and lowering of the crow's nest out here, and it is stopped in place by this small yellow beam here. You can raise and lower the crow's nest, and it does give us this very cool effect as well. Completing the build, we move on to bag 12 now, and we get the classic eye-on cannon build. This is the last section that you will build of the set, and in my opinion this is one of my favorite builds from the entire set. It is very nice to get a spherical object from LEGO, considering they use the classic brick system. So we do get a load of snot building techniques, which is studs not on top. We do build these cooler side panels here, and then they clip on to the sides like so. Going over to the top here, we do have the same option here, but the designers did add a hinge up here, allowing you to open the cockpit area and put a minifigure inside. We do have some nice control panels, along with, unfortunately, a sticker detailing there, and it looks like we do have the target of a Superstar Destroyer in sight. Moving on to the base here, the designers did do a very good job minimalizing the pieces used to create the snowy effect for the base. There are also some ball joints allowing you to raise and lower the iron cannon, though we cannot swivel left and right. You will have to do this one manually. Turning the build over, this has to be the most disappointing side of the build. For the Technic functions to work, the designers did decide to use every other color in the LEGO catalog, other than the classic grey and white color scheme that they did use for the majority of the build. And while the function works perfectly, it is a very big letdown, considering you are paying that high price for the UCS standard LEGO Star Wars sets. though I will demonstrate how the function works now. By pulling back on this red lever here, you can see that the ion cannon's shooters do move back, and there is a little technical lever in here that does touch the spring-loaded shooters, allowing you to fire them. So pulling them back far enough, you will see that they will fire the 2 consecutive shooters there. So a fantastic function nonetheless, though a bit disappointing that LEGO did include all of these colours. Though I'm sure with a bit of tweaking you can add your own interpretation by colouring these in the classic grey and white colour scheme. Let us know your thoughts on this build and what is your favourite part of the Echo Hoth base or the Assault on Hoth set. Well, final thoughts on the set, and the big question is the set worth £500? In my honest opinion, I do not think the set is worth £500, as that is a very high price tag to pay for any LEGO item, unless it is an exceedingly rare item indeed. Nonetheless, it is a fantastic set, though a big contribution to the increasing price over the years is, first of all, the set has been discontinued since 2000 and I believe 18, so it's coming up to 7 years old now, though the set was released 10 years ago or 2016, so we're coming up to that 8 to 10 year mark of retirement, and that is one factor of pushing up the price. Second of all, at the time of release, the set was $250 or £220, which was quite a lot of money back in the day, considering the inflation price of most UCS sets do sit around the $220 today. That is another factor there, and well, due to it not selling very well 10 years ago, copies that are sealed today do demand a very high price, and unfortunately second-hand dealers and scalpers are being quite greedy these days and are trying to charge those high premium prices of £500 plus or $600 plus. If you are looking to pick up this set, I would recommend picking it up by any means, as it is a fantastic set to have in any LEGO Star Wars or Star Wars fans collection there. Though I would tend to look on maybe the cheaper side. If you don't want to pay the £500 price point, you could also go buy it second hand, though it would still cost quite a bit of money. Or in my opinion, I would definitely recommend parting out the set, as there are very few rare pieces included within the set, and the majority of pieces can be found on lego.com or Bricklink there. Once again, it is more of a player scale set in terms of a UCS set, just due to all of the miniature builds that complete the set as a whole. Though I would recommend it to anyone, as it is a fantastic LEGO Star Wars set, and I personally do like it. The one downside though, as the set is all white, it does have the tendency to sun fade over time, so make sure to keep this out of direct sunlight and maybe keep it on a shelf or in a darker room. Once again, thank you very much for watching this entire LEGO Star Wars review. If you are interested in content like this, make sure to subscribe and follow, as me and Mr. Grey are the first human parrot duo on the LEGO forums, websites and so on. So Mr. Grey and me will see you all in the next one, so stay tuned for that. Goodbye for now.